Hey, my name is Noella Ngwi. I am a personal development coach, and on this channel, I share my struggles and some of the lessons I have learned in life. So every Tuesday and every Friday, I'm going to upload a video for you. Do like, comment, and share. The people of my generation are well educated, especially looking at the community I grew up in, and where I'm coming from actually. I've said it before. In my family, I'm first generation to have advanced level, which means that my parents didn't have advanced level, didn't even go to secondary school, neither did my grandparents. Now, in the time of my parents and continuing with my generation, we have put a lot of effort into educating ourselves and educating our children. So when I see people going to school, studying, learning a trade, I always ask them, so finally, what do you want? When all is said and done, what do you want? What do you want to happen? And they'll be like, okay, after I'm done with my training, I'm going to get a job, a high-paying job, and then I'll be paid this amount of money. Most of the times, they don't think about how much they'll be paid. So I'm like, so how much will this high-paying job? We say high-paying. High is relative. So how much is really this high-paying job? And they'll have to think for a while, and then they come up with figures. And I'm like, okay, so at that time, what will you be doing? What are some of the things you want to do? And they'll be like, okay, I'll build my house. I'm like, what kind of house? I'll build my house. It'll be a 3-bedroom flat. And I'm like, okay, so what are the kind of food you eat in that house? With whom will you be living in that house? Some of them will be like, in my husband's house, or in my house with my wife, or in my house, like. So at that point, how do you move yourself around? How do you transport yourself around? What kind of car do you have? At that point, what kind of car will you have? And they'll think for a while. So because I've had a privilege of working with a lot of students, secondary students. So I realized that at 17, 16, 17, 18, most of our children don't even know what they really want. And then I was so surprised by that, and I decided to start going higher, start asking people who are in their 20s, 25s, 27s. And I realized that most people just take whatever they see. They don't really understand what is going on. They don't choose a future. So one of the things I always tell students when I interact with students, one of the things I provoke them to do is to choose their future. Because that choice alone is going to affect a lot of other things in their lives. So I start by telling them, look at your life now. And then let's assume that everything goes perfectly as planned. You go to the school you love, you have the job you want, you have the amount of money you want. What would that future look like for you? What will you be doing in that future? With who will you be in that future? What kind of house will you live in that future? What kind of car will you be riding in the future? How many children will you have in that future? What will your options? Like, okay, for example, God forbid, but imagine that at some point your child becomes sick to the extent where the child needs operation, and they are asking for 5 million to come and deposit for the operation. In that future, will you borrow that money from somebody, or you will have so much that you take out 5 million to cater for your child, and it will be nothing? It will be like you haven't even touched anything from the amount of wealth you have accumulated. Like, I've asked them a series of questions. So I don't know where you are. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you've done. I don't know what you plan to do. But I think that every once in a while, sit down and revise your future. Sit down and revise your future. When I say revise, what do I mean? You have something in your mind already. You have something in your heart already. But let's revise it. Let's look at it. This future I want, what kind of future do I want? Now, it because this thing now, this future you will choose, the choice now will come back and determine what you will be doing in the now. This future will determine what you will do now. So it will determine what you will eat. It will determine what kind of exercises you will do. It will determine the places you will go to. It will determine the people you will interact with. It will determine the books you will read. It will determine the movies you will watch. Like some people feel like, oh, I'm too complicated. Not really. I'm not complicated. I just know exactly what I want. And if something is not in line with what I want, I don't go for it. Like I don't watch every movie. A lot of times movies are out of the kind of movies I watch. Somebody has to recommend the movie to me. Someone will have to tell me that there's this movie, have you watched it? I'm like, no. Because most of the people close to me know the kind of movies I watch. And I'm like, no, like, go and watch Woman King. Or go and watch this particular movie. It is only when they say it that I will now go and watch it. And I always ask them, because they know how I watch movies, I always ask them, what is it talking about? So they'll give me a brief overview of the movie before I even watch it still. Another thing I do is that I hear the title of the movie, I go on Google and Google the movie, I read the plot. I read the plot. Sometimes just reading the plot is enough. I don't have to watch the movie. So I read the plot and then now I sit down to watch. When I'm watching, I'm listening to every conversation. I'm following up every conversation. I'm looking at what is going on around in the environment in that conversation. I'm looking at art on the wall. I'm looking at the background. I'm looking at the setting. I'm looking at the way they are dressed. I'm looking at body postures. By the way, it is said that communication is 80% body language and 20% vocals. So there's a lot more going on in that scenario than just what is being said. So that's how I watch movies. Why? Because I'm so focused on where I'm going to. So it will determine the kind of movies you watch. It will determine the kind of music you listen to. For example, I don't like when people use curse words. So a lot of movies, a lot of music, if I notice that this musician is fond of using curse words, I will hardly listen to their songs. But then I will follow, like I listen to their interviews. I want to know what they do at the personal level, their work ethic. I want to know, how they go about their business. But then their songs, I will not listen to their songs. Unless somebody recommends the song to me that there is this song this person did, please go and listen to it. Or there's this music video that this person put out, watch it. I won't. Coming to friends, that future will determine the kind of friends you have. Now, okay, you are thinking of studying hard, getting good grades, learning a good job that will pay you a certain amount of money that can take care of you and your loved ones. And then, which means that for that to happen now, you have to study very hard. You have to become the best at what you do. I saw the title of a book that really intrigued me. So good that they can't ignore you. You have to become so good that they'll not be able to ignore you. Such that you stand out among your peers. Because if the four of us go for a job interview and on this job they say they are paying, let's say they are paying 100,000 francs. And based on my value, based on my worth, I can decide and say I'm not taking 100,000 francs. I had a sister who did that. She goes to an institution in an environment where all the business owners they had a meeting and they decided none of us should pay any of our workers more than 50,000 francs. And she walked in and she said she's not taking 50,000. And some people gave her the kind of attitude that, who are you? She knows what she's bringing to the table. She's best at what she does. And she knows how much work she puts in. So she knows she's going to deliver. So she said 70, if take it or leave it. In fact, when she comes for interview and you start saying that we cannot, she just gets up, pulls her documents from from your table, packs her bag, and she leaves. And there was an institution that looked at her. They saw the potential, they saw the work ethic, they saw professionalism in what she does, and they gave her what she demanded for. So if you have to stand out among your peers, how much work are you putting in now for that to happen? That's the thing. As in, how much work are you putting in now for all of that to take place? So you have to choose. You cannot be friends with somebody that, let's say we get up from Bamenda and we decide that, no, I decide that I am going to Yaoundé. And I have another friend who decides that they are going to Boya. Okay, they are going to Boya. Most of the times, your friends' habits influence your habits. Your friends' choices influence your choices. And we get up, we go to maybe the same agency, the same travel agency, and we pay our tickets. My friend will not be pulling me that, no, we have to get the same bus, because that bus, one is going to Boya, one is going to Yaoundé. Those are two different directions. So, how do you choose your friends? Are they going in the same direction you are going? Don't go and make friends with people that you are like you are going to two different locations, two different directions. Because what will happen is that you just keep pulling each other. You just keep pulling each other. And at the end of the day, nobody's advancing. So you have to get to the point where you choose your friends based on the kind of future you want. These friends should go in the same direction with you. They should have similar goals, not the same goals, but similar goals. In fact, that's why I say direction. Because you may all be moving towards Yaoundé. For example, one person stops at Obala, which is on the outskirts of Yaoundé. One person goes into the heart of the city. So choose people who are going in the same direction with you. That way, you will easily get your destination. Or that way, you find less friction, growing, progressing, going forward. So choose your future. Sit down consciously. Choose your future. That's why I always tell people that audit your relationships. Like, sit down, look at the people in your life, your relatives. For example, I love my sister so much. I love my brother. I love my mom. But when I call them, I'm talking family, like, how are you? There's this issue. This baby was sick. How is the baby now? What's going on? Like, I'm not talking business with them. Because when it comes to business, career-wise, personal development, my sisters and I, we are moving in different directions. But I love them and I respect them to relate with them on that level. But if I have to choose my future, these people are part of my future, whether I like it or not. But if I have to choose my future, it means that the variables, the things in my future that I can actually move around, the pieces of the puzzle that I can move around, I should be careful how I move them and where I place them. I should really be careful. Like the friends you make, the courses you learn in school. You must not stick to a course because you have paid the fees already and you discover this course is not for you. Don't waste your time and your life. You move on to what should be right for you. On this issue of choosing a future, there's just so much for me to talk. There's like so much for me to talk about. But then, anyway, I think that I'll make out time for us to talk about it detailedly in another video. But then, just be conscious. Choose your future. First of all, sit down and design this future in your mind. That's job number one. Design the future. Who will be there? Who will not be there? What will be there? What will not be there? What are the options I will have? What are the options I will not have? Okay, bringing back now. This person I associate with, are they moving in that direction or they are going into the opposite direction? They are nice people. It doesn't make them bad. Nice, super nice people. Awesome people. But they are not going in your direction. These co-workers I spend most of my time with, my extra time with, like during my break, and are they moving in the direction I'm going to? Or they are going in the opposite direction? Let me get personal now. Social media. What you do on social media, like the pages you follow, the blogs you follow, the blogs you read, the videos you watch, YouTube, what you watch constantly on YouTube, is that thing going in your direction or is going in the opposite direction? Like your Instagram feed, if I go to your Instagram feed, is there anything there that is contributing to this future you want, or it is taking you away from the future you want? You have to, if you must succeed in this life, you just have to sit down. You just have to sit down and do this exercise. It will really help you. It will really help you. If you want me to share more with you, comment below. Also subscribe, and don't forget to click on the notification button so that you'll be notified every time I upload a new video.